Welcome back to our conversation about the MBTA with the Executive Director of the MBTA Advisory Board, Paul Regan. Is it safe to ride the T, Paul?
1.4 million people ride the T every day, including me.
What line do you take?
I take commuter rail and Orange Line.
Okay.
And the Orange Line's been an adventure. But yes, it's safe. It could be a hell of a lot safer. This report, all 60-odd pages of it, highlights exactly how much work the T needs to do before people like me or people at the T can look you straight in the eye and say, no, it's absolutely safe. It's not. It's got serious problems that need to be fixed. But most of those problems are going to be faced by the staff as opposed to the customers.
Well, in the meantime, everyone, you included, who with a role to play here, seems to agree there's a money problem,
yes,
that we need more money, can't keep putting it off on the backs of the riders. Now, there have been a bunch of options floating around, raising fees paid by the ride-hailing apps, Uber, Lyft, and so forth, congestion fees, hiking the gas tax. What do you support, and what do you think might make it through Beacon Hill and override a gubernatorial veto?
I was on the Transportation Finance Commission that recommended an increase in the gas tax.
Yeah.
The recommendation was...
How much?
We asked for a 25-cent increase.
Okay.
We got a nickel. And indexing. And then indexing was overturned.
Yeah.
The bottom line is we had picked 25 cents on the gas tax because that was a number that could make a significant impact on both the T and the highway system. If you're just talking about the MBTA, we've looked at everything from an addition to the land transfer tax, which is a tax people pay once or twice in their lives when they buy a house, and having that money be dedicated to transportation writ large, you know, both the MBTA and to smaller RTAs, spread it statewide. The gas tax, we've mentioned, congestion taxes. I think it's difficult to take money that comes from the roadways and give it to transit. I mean, I think that we should, because it makes the roadways work better. But I think that the congestion taxes that people are talking about are still several years away, and we have a problem right now.
Governor Baker's a smart guy who has built a reputation of seeking non-political solutions to these tough problems. He says many of those taxes, certainly gas tax, congestion taxes, aren't necessary. Why does he say that?
The MBTA runs a deficit every year. It's running a deficit this year. They cover that deficit in the last 5 years through a special appropriation from the legislature. It doesn't mean that the funding formula for the MBTA is fixed. It means that that funding formula is being bailed out. If you want the MBTA to have the resources it needs to provide safe and reliable service, and that's really what we want, more than anything. You know, people talk about expansion and what it should look like in the future. We want safe and reliable service. That's what everybody says all the time. The funding is inadequate for that right now. And most of the bailout, it goes to closing the budget deficit and the spending on the capital.
Well, I think you probably agree this coming year is pivotal.
It is.
We'll see what happens. Paul, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Good to have you here. And that's all our time for this morning. Right now, I'm going to send it back over to my colleagues for much, much more WBZ News.